So Evan, Evan's I'd love to hear from Evan just to get it started. What are some things that about Remi that really stand out to you so far?
So as Remi, when he was kind of introducing himself, you guys are aware that he's very young in his basketball journey. So he's only been playing for a few years. But one of the things I immediately identified with Remi last year was his passion for the game, and that's kind of where everything should start. He's just an incredible fan of basketball. He's always watching it. He's always talking about it. He's just, he's a really big LeBron James guy. He can't stop talking about the guy. I hear about LeBron. I hear about LeBron like three hours a day. You see what LeBron did. LeBron. Like he's a LeBron guy. So really, just identifying that within him and seeing that in him and saying, okay, this kid's passionate and he's gonna do what it takes. So I remember when I first started working, I'm like, look, Remi, this is a big task in front of you, right? You want to play Division I basketball. I can help get you there. I can give you the tools and what it takes. I can kind of give you a kind of window into what it's going to take to get you there. But it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be an uphill battle. You're kind of behind the 8 ball because he is 17, right? So we have to got to call a spade a spade. He's not, we're not starting this process at 14, so he's going to have to make up a lot of ground in a relatively quick manner. So
that's right.
We've been working, like crazy, and he's came a long way. I think he has a natural work ethic, which as Wayne mentioned earlier, that really kind of resonated with me because that's kind of that's my DNA, right? It's just blue collar, show up every day, put the work in, and he's a kid that never complains, no matter what I tell him to do. I remember in the beginning, I used to test him. We've been now training for about over 6-8 months now. And in the beginning, I used to test him. I put him in some wind sprints, some suicide 17s. Ask him about Remi, how'd you like those 17s? Put him on some 17s, stuff like that. To test him, to try to break his will a little bit, to see kind of if he would crack. And he always came back the next morning ready to work, ready to go. Coach, what's next? What do you want me to do? So I think, his work ethic is going to take him a long way. I think, skill wise, we still have, a long way to go. And we're really, every day we're kind of making those incremental jumps. And I think, his shots really improve. I think his kind of calling card as a player is going to be his ability to shoot the ball. Because when I in the clips you guys seen, it's not really, there'll be more to come. I've been doing a bad job of filming things and stuff, but we'll get there. But he really has a natural ability to shoot the basketball just off rip. So I feel like now we've been fine tuning that, really putting some range on his shot, shooting off the dribble, catch and shoot situations, running off of screens full speed, being on balance. I think he's really coming a long way in that respect.
I saw that too, Evan. I was watching one of the clips that Wayne sent to me a moment ago, and I just took a cursory look that we were coming on right now with you. Is that when you're right, when he runs and you're passing the ball in free play, he runs around squares and shoots it. It looks nice. The thing that I saw was the set shot. He's on his heels on the set shot though.
Yes.
And then I saw you put him on the sand. The sand's going to help him get up off the toes. Yeah. So I see what you're doing there. That's all. He's helping fix that.
And I like that too, because Evan, like the way this game is skill is one thing, but the athleticism now, athletes in the men's game, the women's game, semi-pro, at almost every level now, the athletes are getting ultra athletic.
Yeah.
And so skill alone is not going to be enough. So, you out there running him, building his speed up and helping to help his body is crucial.
The other thing that I saw was explosiveness. The other video you were showing. I saw you go over and dunk it, Remi. Good job, brother. Good job. All right, I like that. But I saw you working on his explosiveness as well. And what I also saw was his lateral movement needed some work. I know you see that. When he's doing moves laterally, so that's why the coach is doing that for you, Remi. Everything that he's doing for you, brother, it's the right thing from my eye. So, he's doing the right things to help you get better. He is.
And one thing I do, because I want to pull I had injuries, and Kayla had an injury, and I had a pretty major injury in college as well too. But developing your body and a commitment to your body. I mean, I'd like to Kayla to just share just in terms of just the impact, the pounding. Like how important is it, Kayla, to have your body ready at that level, and then what is it like coming back from an injury if something like that takes place?
Yeah, for sure. So when I tore my ACL and my meniscus my freshman year, my first year when I got to Xavier, before that we go through you go through your weight room protocol. You become stronger, you feel stronger, you put a little bit more weight on. Definitely anywhere between 10 to 20 pounds, depending on what you're eating and how you're working out. But when I got hurt, it was because I went from playing probably about 10, 15 minutes a game to playing the entire game when we had no point guard, right? So for about a 10-game stretch, we're doing practices, I'm doing everything else, but now my minutes are like 35, 40 minutes a game. And my break was at halftime, and that was really about it. So when it comes to, in terms of body management, I could say looking back, stretching wasn't my favorite thing to do. I would only really do stuff when I was forced to do it. So I always, especially when I train players now, there's a combination of, hey, we're going to do X amount of time to stretch, and we're going to warm up. But there's also a part that can be done on your end in terms of working on flexibility, because a lot of times injuries come from some type of imbalance, whether it's the muscles that are supposed to be working are not, and it forces that overcompensation that's going to lead to those injuries. So explosion, all that stuff is great, 100% needed, but it also, other than making you a good athlete, it strengthens the muscles that need to be able to be susceptible to that constant pounding and running in 3-hour practices and things like that. So for sure, I can answer the second question too, but I think if anyone else has anything to add.
Actually, I'd like to hear, Remi, what do you do on your own right now? Like, to sort of build your body, prepare yourself. Like what is your work ethic like on your own?
Well, I usually, before me and Evan train, because we train every morning from 9 to 1, before I go to school. Usually before that, I have access to like the school gymnasium. So I'm in there for a few hours, and I get my shots up. And then I work on my ball handling and so forth. Mm-hmm. And usually on the weekends, I work a lot on my hip strength, and then I also do a lot of stretching and some yoga. And then me and Evan, we also work on we always have active recovery on Fridays, where we're just working on, for instance, like on my Achilles, working on my flexibility, balance, and so forth, just to improve upon it. And that's one thing that I really took into this summer was stretching, because I knew that was going to help me with everything and then prevent injuries, because this is a time where I cannot get injured.
No, yeah. You don't got enough years under your belt to lose any time. So that is, and what's it like to be working alongside a pro? I mean, Evan's a 16-year vet. And that type of longevity, I don't care what level you play at. I don't care what, to last that long, that you got to be doing something right in terms of taking care of your body and just being a pro every day. What are some things you've learned from Evan or you've taken away already from him?
Oh no, just like the daily basis of Evan's knowledge of just like on the game, and just also just on just everything like got to do with the body. He has so much knowledge on it, and he's taken me from someone who isn't even running properly to someone who can run properly, and who can actually like who has like the right footwork, and who's been able to like who's able to like coordinate themselves, and to just everything, just to make myself, for me to not get injured, and just for me to strengthen my whole body. He's taken me from one level to a whole nother over this time.
That is awesome. Evan, as far as Remi's progress right now, you said his shooting's a good, is obviously something that's going to be really something that's going to separate him from everybody else. Is there anything athletically? And then we see him dunking. Is there something athletically about him right now that some upside that
Yeah. So athletically, I think he's just now tapping into his athletic potential. I feel like you've seen him, and even that little clip I sent of him dunking. There's other ones that I just didn't have access to where he's now. That's actually like been about a month or two ago. So he's getting up even more on the rim now. I feel like the attention we pay to his body now and just his being functionally strong. Because I'm big now. I'm not necessarily getting in the weight room and throwing a bunch of weight around, but it's about being functional in the movements that you do on a basketball court, right? And being as strong as we can in those positions. So I feel like, we really been focusing on his hips. I know he mentioned that he went over that because we identified an issue that he has with his knees, and Kayla might be able to, because I know it's common a lot in a woman's biology, and it's something that's called knee valgus. So so you know what that is, right? Yeah. So when
collapsing, right?
Yeah,
the knees collapse, exactly. So that's a lot of the times why women get ACLs, MCLs, stuff like that, because again, when your body fatigues and you're in those explosive movements and you're pushing off, you're jumping, you're starting, you're stopping, and those knees collapse in, the ligaments don't really necessarily can't hold up to that type of torque and that type of, so a lot of times it starts in the hips. Part of it is genetics because there's a little bit of a family history with it. So we're gonna have to work the best way we can with it. But it's been really improving, and I see that his lateral movement, as you touched on, Richard, his lateral movement is getting better because I find with his hip flexibility and mobility, it wasn't the best. So he was kind of struggling with that lateral movement.
Yes.
But I feel like his athleticism is really gonna take off soon. I feel like we're gonna really start to really see some really good progress. But I feel like
where do you see his growth? What do you see his growth? I mean, he's what, 6'17"?
He's 17, so he's
6'4" now. You see the spurts? I mean, you probably didn't get to see.
I feel like I got my gut feeling. I feel like he'll be at least 6'6". My gut feeling. But who knows? He had a growth spurt. When was it, Remi? Last summer or the summer before? Summer before, right?
Yeah, I grew from about 6'1" to like 6'3", and then in the past year I grew about an inch.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
So I feel like he's got an inch or two left, so he'll probably finish at around 6'6". 6'6". I'm hoping.
What do you think about his his knowledge of the game, his instincts? Because a lot of guys think that you run up and down the court, but you didn't run up and down. Do you have the instincts? Do you have the ability to cut someone off and cut into the middle and stop him from flashing to the ball? Where do you see? Does he have the bounce pass? Does he have the post? Does he know the fake up? Like, I don't know. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So fundamentally, like his fundamentals of the game is something, because he's still so young in his journey.
Yeah.
We're constantly so we're constantly adding to that daily.
Yeah.
His knowledge of the game, in terms of just like being a student of the game, is there, but I feel like he still needs to kind of put it into action in competition and competing.
Experience.
So as you guys know, experience, exactly. So there it is. Right? So
I got a question for him too.
Yeah.
Remi, what do you see as your strength? If you had to, break yourself down and say, okay, this is my strength, this is my go-to, this is what I do well, athletically, skill-wise.
I would say that my go-to is my shooting, and for sure I would say just working off the ball, and also of course I can take on the ball too, but I feel like I feel personally that I get my best shots off the ball, and when I'm running off screens, or when I'm giving ball, or when I'm faking and then I'm running off and getting open, that's how I feel I'm most confident. When I get the ball in my hand, that I'm gonna knock it, and then I'm gonna knock it down. And what I'm working on now mostly is on my ball handling, and because that's something I know I'm gonna need to have, because that's gonna open the game up for me to be able to just find looks, and to be able to just put the ball on the floor, and to be able to get to the basket, and off of that, for instance, off of that ball fake. it's gonna be key for me to unlock my ball handling.
Okay. And in what position would you consider yourself?
I would consider myself right now probably a 2.
Okay, 2.
A 2.
Hey, we got any 2 guards on here? Got some advice for 2? Kayla's our technical director. She's the expert on every position. Kayla,
that's right.
You got some advice on 2 guards for us?
I can give my little piece, but I know I can tell just by the way Evan speaks about the game that he's knowledgeable in terms of ways to continue to produce his talent, especially playing at the 2 position. But you said a very important part of it there, just the ability to score off the screens. And when I think of that, I think of recently just doing some film on Bradley Beal is one of the people that come to mind very quickly because he's just an extremely dynamic player. And like you said, unlocking or just being able to, now let's say you come off of a screen or you have a pin down screen and you flare, there's also an opportunity, maybe you're not open for that shot where you can attack. And if that big steps up, hit him with a Euro, be able to finish creatively around the rim and things like that. So in terms of being a 2, you're already on the right path. And I know I can already tell that Evan's got you on that path too, just being able to do multiple things. And then Richard mentioned it earlier. That's a very tough position to guard. You got a lot of talented scorers at that position. Yeah. So being able to sit down and work on that lateral movement, consistent 3-point shot. You're actually playing a position that, to be honest, there's not a lot in terms of things that you shouldn't be able to do, but you can definitely narrow them down. And when you have a good trainer, they're going to help you do that. But you're definitely on the path.
So you're in the right track.
Definitely. Remi, we can't not ask about COVID. So how's COVID impacting you right now?
Quite a lot. In this area now we have like
which area, like with the area in Spain you're in, like specifically?
Yeah. So the area in Spain, and the southern of Spain. So basically we're on a lockdown, but we're not. It basically like everything shuts at 6 o'clock.
Oh wow.
Okay.
And then you're still allowed to move outside until 10. But yeah, everything shuts at 6. And that's, for instance, you're not able to, gyms aren't open now, but that's why it's great that I have access to my school gym, so I can work out there. And also you're only allowed to be in groups of 4. So that's why no team stuff is happening right now.
In Canada, we're allowed 10. So we're on lockdown right now, but before the lockdown, we were allowed 10. But wow, 4. Evan, what can you get done with 4? Just a lot of individual work, right?
Yeah. So there it is, right? So we're outside. We're taking it back to the old school. Thank God out here. Thank God out here.
Boy.
Kayla, back when we only played on the asphalt.
I know a little bit of that. I know where he's going. When you shoot, there's no
Kayla's new school. Kayla's air conditioned gym.
Oh, she hardwood.
Air conditioned fan, water.
That's all right. I'll pretend to be bougie for the content.
Okay. Remi, before COVID, was it all hardwood and AC for you too, or?
No hardwood. Our school doesn't have, but here in Spain they use like this type of I don't know what it is. It's like a rubber grip sort of
rubber
tire. Yeah. The tires, they recycle tires.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Evan, what's
it's
that?
Like rubber. It's like rubber floors. Yeah, they're not really only the nicest gyms get hardwood out here. A lot of the times in like the schools and stuff, like high schools and stuff, they put that rubbery kind of like multi-purpose. It's like a multi-purpose floor, so it's not.
Okay.
So,
and it comes sometimes it bubbles and the ball bounces a certain way too. If
wow.
Rubber floors, a little bubble, the ball bounces over there. You better have a handle.
I would not. Well, yeah, maybe. Well, before we wrap up, Remi, any last questions? Anything definitely we'd like to give you an opportunity to thank anybody else you'd like to. But any last questions before we wrap up and thank yous?
Nothing really comes to mind right now, but
okay. Well, that's okay because we're here for the journey.
Mom, Dad.
Thank you, Mom and Dad.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. Let's let you thank them properly. I'm just gonna put you full screen here. You go ahead and thank Mom and Dad properly.
Thank you, Mom, for always driving me to practice, and thank you, Dad, for waking up early with me and taking me to school at 6:30. I know it's not fun, but he does it, and I really do appreciate them for that. Nice. And I'm putting all the time and effort for me. I really do appreciate it.
Good stuff.
Awesome. Good.
Awesome.
Good character, young man. Well, thank you, Evan. Thank you, Remi. Squad.
All right, Evan.
Anything else for them before we go?
Well, I just want to say thank you, Evan, for what you're doing over there, helping young people. I mean, that's cool, giving back. Remi, good luck to you. All right, get your friends, get anybody you know who wants to play basketball on this platform. We're going to help people get better, okay, buddy? But good job by you, okay? And good luck. Good luck. We're going to get there.
Kayla, any last things for you?
I would just echo those same sentiments. I mean, like I said earlier, you seem like you're on the right path. Just continue to work and be patient. I mean, there's going to be times where knowing that you started a little bit later than the usual crop of kids that you might feel like you're behind, but all you can do right now is work with the current position you're in. COVID is also one of those situations that is definitely kind of threw a wrench in your plans. But I mean, your best opportunity right now is to work with what you got, and you'll be surprised with the amount of work ethic that Evan said that you have, how far you'll be able to get with that. So awesome. Stick with it.
Awesome.
Hey, Evan, I'm really proud of you continuing the passing it on, paying it forward, continue the legacy of what was started, over here in Toronto with you and with us. And so I'm really proud of you. Thank you for coming on.
Appreciate you.
Recruiting.com.